baseball players aren't the only ones who change games. Sometimes it's the fans. 1 second you're watching a routine fly ball. The next second someone in the front row has just altered the outcome of a major league game. A thrown baseball hits a player in the back. A fan reaches over the wall and steals a home run. An umpire ejects someone sitting in the stands. Grown adults wrestle over souvenirs like it's WrestleMania. If you think the action stops at the foul lines, think again. Let's start with one of the most dangerous examples. After a massive Jose Bautista home run, emotions were high. The crowd was buzzing. And as often happens after a road team goes deep, a fan decided to throw the ball back onto the field. It's a tradition in some cities, but this time, it went wrong. The ball came flying out of the stands and drilled Brett Gardner in the upper back, near the base of his skull. You can see him recoil instantly. That's not just annoying, that's dangerous. A baseball thrown from the stands can cause serious injury. Thankfully, Gardner appeared to be okay. But it was a reminder that fan involvement isn't always harmless. And sometimes, fans don't just throw the ball, they try to take over the play itself. Curtis Granderson was sprinting down the right field line at full speed, tracking a fly ball into the corner. He makes the catch, but immediately there's confrontation. A fan was right there, reaching, interfering, getting way too involved in live action. Granderson ends up down on the ground in the corner as chaos unfolds. Outfield walls are supposed to be boundaries. But to some fans, they're invitations. Then there's the classic interference moment that changes a runner's fate entirely. Ball is sliced down the third baseline. Fair by inches. It's rolling, hugging the chalk. A fan reaches out and touches it. Instantly, everything stops. Because once a fan touches a live ball in fair territory, it's interference in this case. George Springer is awarded second base because the fan altered the play. It was close, extremely close to being foul. But the interference made the decision easy. The Astros benefit. And suddenly a fan's split-second mistake changes the inning. Not all interference happens on the ground. Sometimes it happens in the air, and sometimes it becomes baseball legend, a towering drive to left field. The outfielder tracks it back to the wall. He times his jump perfectly. He's about to make the catch, and then a fan reaches over the fence and grabs it. It's impossible not to think of Jeffrey Mayer, the Yankees fan in 1996 who famously reached over and turned a potential out into a Derek Jeter home run. That moment became one of the most controversial plays in postseason history, and here we are again. The replay shows it clearly. The fan's glove extended well over the wall, into the field of play. The outfielder was in position. He was going to catch it. Instead, it's ruled a home run. The fan celebrates. The opposing team fumes. That's the thin line between hero and villain in the stands. But sometimes, fans don't just interfere with the game, they fight each other. A home run ball lands in the upper deck. A cannon shot. The scramble begins. Arms flailing. Bodies colliding. One fan rips it away from another. Someone yells, "Give me that! I'm a Pirates fan!" Another person argues back. It's chaos over a piece of leather. There's another moment. A home run ball lands near a group of fans, and a full-on wrestling match breaks out. Broadcasters can't help but laugh and cringe at the same time. Grown adults fighting while kids sit nearby. Y-I. It's funny. Until it ISN single quotes T. Because sometimes the drama between fans and players gets personal. Justin Verlander once turned around and got visibly angry at his own fans. They were booing his manager, Brad Ausmus, as he walked off the field. Verlander wasn't having it. He barked back toward the crowd, defending his skipper. That's rare. Players usually ignore boos. But when your own fans turn on your team, emotions boil over. Baseball may be entertainment, but for players, it's personal. And then there's the umpire who had enough. Bob Davidson was hearing it from the dugout. That's normal. But suddenly he turns toward the stands. He's pointing. He's arguing. And then, unbelievably, he ejects a fan. When was the last time you saw that? An umpire tossing someone who bought a ticket. It doesn't happen often. But when fans cross a line, personal insults, profanity, threats, the umpire has the authority to remove them. In this case, Davidson had heard enough. Speaking of crossing lines, sometimes fans literally reach over them, a fly ball near the tarp. Adrian Gonzalez leans in the stands trying to make a catch. A fan reaches down and pulls the ball right out of his glove. Out! That's interference. Except, it wasn't called that way at first. The umpires debated. There was confusion because of the tarp. But on replay, it was clear. The fan reached into the field of play and took the ball from Gonzalez's glove. That should be an out every time. Review eventually clarified what the naked eye missed. It's amazing how often fans forget the rule. You can't reach into the field of play. If the ball crosses the plane of the wall, it's fair game. If it doesn't, hands off. And yet, it keeps happening. Another deep drive to left. The outfielder is set. He's camped under it. It's not even leaving the yard. A fan leans way over the fence and snatches it. The broadcasters immediately bring up Jeffrey Mayer again. It's the perfect comparison. Because just like in that iconic 1996 moment, the defender had position. He was about to make the play. Instead, the fan altered history. And sometimes fans don't just interfere, they gloat. One kid robs a potential catch, then throws his hands up celebrating, like he just hit the home run himself. The commentators even joke that he should get kicked out just for gloating. There's an unwritten rule among fans. If you interfere, at least look apologetic, but not everyone does. There's even lighter moments of fan interaction between innings. Cameras pan the crowd. A fan is biting into someone else's food. Another awkwardly blocks someone's view. A broadcast points out a guy who's been holding cold pork chops for 3 innings. It's weird, hilarious, and uniquely baseball. Then there are the close calls down the line. A ball barely fair. A fan almost touches it. Everyone holds their breath. Because in baseball, inches matter. And when fans insert themselves into that space, everything changes. At Chase Field, the Diamondbacks are up 1-0 over the Rockies. The game is tight. And yet, somewhere in the stands, there's another moment brewing. Maybe someone reaching too far. Maybe someone wrestling for a souvenir. It's constant. It's unpredictable. And that's the truth about baseball fans. Most of the time, they're just passionate, loud, invested. They cheer. They boo. They celebrate. But every now and then, they become part of the story. They throw balls back and accidentally hit players. They reach over walls and change home runs into outs, or outs into home runs. They fight over souvenirs. They get ejected by umpires. They argue with players, and in doing so, they remind us that baseball isn't just played between the lines, it's lived in the stands. The stadium is a living, breathing character in every game. And sometimes, that character makes a mistake, so the next time you're sitting in the front row and a ball comes your way, remember, you're closer to the action than you think. One reach, one throw, 1 second, and you might be part of baseball history. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the wildest fan moments in MLB history, make sure you hit subscribe for more insane stories from the game we all love. Share this with a friend who thinks fans don't affect baseball, and let me know in the comments, which moment shocked you the most?